Here we go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average chest rig enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home. Thanks for watching. The purpose of today's video is I'm going to discuss when you should use a chest rig and how you should actually set it up. A lot of guys in the comment section will ask me, Trench, should I buy body armor first? Should I buy a chest rig first? Should I buy weapon accessories first? Okay. Shout out Daniel Defense Mark 18. What should I buy first and what should I rock? Well, hopefully this video will help clarify that and help guide you in the right direction. Before we get too far along, leave an airborne emoji down below or a parachuting emoji down below, because we're going to be talking a lot about the airborne community today and a lot about their decision to run chest rigs sometimes rather than running exclusively body armor like the rest of the Army. So leave your parachute emoji down below. Patreon, it's $5 and it gets you access to our Discord server. What does that mean? Well, it's a bunch of dudes that stay up late and talk about all your favorite chest rig loadouts and things that have worked and things that sometimes don't work. So consider becoming a member of the Patreon, okay? It's only $5 a month. Instagram, it's where I do all the lifting content, okay, and all the behind the scenes. There'll be a link down below. Last but not least, Palmetto State Armory. Guys, if you need gear and ammo, check out the link below. They are the sponsor of the video. Huge shout out to Palmetto State Armory. Okay. Guys, let's just talk about what I'm rocking here. So this kit up is basically going to be a rifleman's setup that I'm about to show you and discuss. We're going to get rid of the carbine here. This is just a Mark 18 with a red dot and a white light and a blue alpha gear or whatever sling, okay? So goodbye to the carbine. All right, guys, so let's talk about chest rig, or let's talk about why you would run a chest rig rather than body armor. So I have two depictions that for the new backdrop behind me, Sky Soldiers and Recon, okay? So as some of you guys know, I spent 3 years Recon with the 173rd in Germany. And while we were there, we very rarely ever used body armor. And if we did use body armor, it was something that an LMTV or a truck would bring in after we jumped in, because there just wasn't a way for us to jump in and sustain with body armor, okay? So that is something to consider. So we would oftentimes have a lot of weight, a lot of water, a lot of batteries, a lot of ammo, and a lot of surveillance equipment, and we wouldn't necessarily be running body armor, okay? So if you find yourself in a mission set that does not allow you to be able to actually utilize body armor, okay, just due to size and weight constraints, because even your light minimalist plate carrier, like this AC-1 right here, it literally has nothing on it, right, other than 3 mags and body armor, right? Even something minimalist like that is still heavy, okay? It's added weight when you're talking about ounces and down to cutting toothbrushes in half and stuff like that, okay? So when you're making the decision, the conscious decision of, am I going to wear body armor or just rock a chest rig, you are talking about weight considerations and more into sustainment. Not just sustainment as far as water, but sustainment as far as ammunition and other things of that nature, okay? What I'm wearing right now is a T-Rex Arms chest rig, right? Quad chest rig, right? With hydration and a kind of a general purpose pouch, and my level 3, which is my Mystery Ranch 3-day assault pack. This would be a typical loadout if I was going to go out for 3 days. And obviously, we have to discuss the fact that without body armor, you're more susceptible to dying, right? So two big reasons for body armor, or a deliberate raid or a deliberate assault. Yeah, you're probably going to want body armor for that. On the other hand, okay, shrapnel. So artillery, body armor with soft armor inserts is mainly utilized to stop shrapnel, okay? Same thing with like ballistic helmets. The reason why dudes rock ballistic helmets is not necessarily for the stopping protection from small arms cartridges. It's more geared towards stopping shrapnel, right? That's why your helmets are rated for shrapnel most of the time and only rated up to 44 Magnum. So that's just something to consider as far as protection. But yeah, so direct action and artillery protection are what you're going to be giving up, and those are two huge things if you're deciding to just run a chest rig. So I say all that to say this: you need to actually be able to justify not running the body armor. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be a recon guy or whatever, and I'm just going to decide to not wear body armor. No, you can't just willy-nilly make that decision. You have to actually be able to back up the reason why you're not going to run it based on whatever mission set you're doing. And if you're a civilian, you probably need body armor, okay? Because if you're doing anything for realsies, you're gonna probably wanna have that extra added protection, obviously at a second chance of life. Now, if you live somewhere like Montana and you are gonna have to move a very, very long distance without resupply in the SHTF, WROL type situation, then yeah, what I'm wearing right now would probably be a very good idea for you, maybe with the added protection of a ballistic helmet, okay? But the name of the game is going to be, can you fight and maneuver and actually sustain in whatever kit you decide to use. So if you're deciding to use body armor, can you actually maneuver in it? Can you walk 10 miles with your assault pack and your carbine? Can you actually resupply? Can you still conduct the mission with the added weight of the body armor? So these are things you're going to have to actually consider and weigh out before you just decide I'm going to use body armor or not use body armor. It needs to be a conscious decision. Even in the airborne community, right, oftentimes we will jump in with either a JPC or a plate carrier, and well, oftentimes we won't even jump in with that, but if we do, it'll be a small plate carrier, right? And then most of the time when we just use something like a chest rig, we'll have our body armor driven in or dropped in on a heavy drop, okay? So that's just a palletized, all the body armor palletized, okay? So those are just things to consider. That's what the professionals do. So you need to decide, okay, I'm not airborne, I'm a civilian, I'm living in Tennessee, and do I need body armor? Well, that's gonna be up to you. But it's gonna come down to your physical fitness and whatever you're trying to do, okay? If you're trying to move long distances, then probably you don't need body armor. If you're jacked out of your mind and you can take the weight, then yes, take the body armor. So it's gonna be entirely up to you. Okay. So, also guys, reminder to like the video and leave your parachute comment. So let's go over what I'm actually wearing here. If I decided to actually utilize a chest rig rather than body armor, let's talk about the actual kit setup. So on my left, your right, most likely, is a hydration pouch. Just a basic Nalgene, keep it topped off. One thing, if you're gonna purify water, you need to make sure you open it up and allow water to run into the grooves on the actual Nalgene, because these grooves will still have water that is contaminated, right? If you're using like iodine tablets or something like that. So just a keynote if you're gonna run a Nalgene. Moving over from that, 4 magazines, okay? Now, here's the thing about the magazines. You can do double or single stack, just based on whatever you wanna do. And one other neat thing I recommend, okay? Whatever magazine you're gonna run on the far left or on your non-firing side, you can keep it accessible kind of like that. Obviously, these magazine pouches will take 2 magazines, such as this magazine pouch down here. However, if you're gonna run whatever magazine is on your far left, you probably wanna keep that thing accessible, okay? And you can re-index pretty easily, but you wanna keep that thing accessible for an easy reload, okay? Typically, I'll run 1, 1, 2, and 2, okay? So 2, 4, 5, 6 with 1 in the gun and a couple extra in the assault pack, right? Okay, so what we have right down here, this is just going to be a dump pouch, right? So typically, to be honest with you, this is where my phone lives most of the time, or anything that I don't want to put in my pockets, anything you find, okay, shot timer, stuff like that. That's what typically will live in here on the flat range. Super useful. Literally, you just dump whatever you don't need. Any magazines you don't have time to stow, you can just dump them in there, okay? So super useful, and you can also retain it by rolling it back up, obviously, and just retain it like that, nice and out of the way. Okay, moving over. First thing, one last thing to note, you do have 2 radio or tourniquet pouches on the interior of this kit. So I'm rocking 2 tourniquets right now, but at work I'll typically run a Harris on the left side, okay? On the right side is gonna be your general purpose pouch, okay? That's where you're gonna run your Gerber, maybe a white light, protractor, planning materials. And based on your unit SOP, you will either run your night vision tied off in your general purpose pouch, or what most units are doing nowadays are transitioning over to running the night vision in the level 3 because nobody's ever been surprised by nighttime, right? Crazy concept, right? But if you run in here, I do recommend having some sort of bubble wrap or foam protection, so that way you don't destroy your night vision. Then just some gloves lanyard off to my kit. That way if I lose the ones I'm wearing, I always have gloves with the kit as a grab and go type of situation. On the inside in here, I do have the ability to put protractors and maps in an admin pouch that's still pretty streamlined to the body. Guys, if you have more questions about this particular kit, it is the T-Rex kit. If you have questions, just hit me up in the comments. If I don't answer, you probably should go to the Patreon because I probably didn't see your comment. Okay, with all that being said, guys, in summary, you need to decide if chest rigs are going to be what fits your mission set, or if you just need to stick with body armor. You have to make the conscious decision. Nobody else can make it for you. These are just some things that I've learned in my experiences. I've been in 2 airborne communities, and like I said, we've only ever jumped in with body armor 1 or 2 times. Most of the time, we jump in with chest rigs, conduct about 72 hours worth of operations, and then have our body armor driven in if it's going to be a continued fight. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Leave your parachute emoji down below. Consider becoming a member of the Patreon. And until next time, this will be Trench Grenade, your average chest rig enjoyer, signing out. Cheers.